Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, WWE called an audible after an injury on last night's Raw.
WWE announces the United States of America versus Vince McMahon the show.
There we go. I'm going to tell you what happened after last night's Raw went off the air.
And Keith Lee to reveal where he's been for 5 goddamn months. I'm Ben Roy Turner, and this is Andy Murray, and I'm just going to say his name, and this is the news, everyone. Andy, come on, let's go. Let's have some stories.
I'm not used to this level of enthusiasm at 9 in the morning, man. That's completely thrown me off my game. Let's kick things off by talking about what may have been an unfortunate injury to Natalya on last night's episode of Raw. So there was a match, it was one of these, they did about 4 of these last night, championship elimination contender thing matches, a bunch of non-title matches stipulating that if the losers won, they would get a title shot. In this case, the losers did not win, it was Doudrop and Eva Marie versus Natalya and Tamina, presumably a women's tag team title shot on the line. But the champions got the job done thanks to an interference from Lily on the Tron, which you can probably tell how much I enjoyed that from the tone of my voice. But anyway, there was a spot in the match where Natalya was clearly struggling. She kicked out of a pin attempt from Doudrop. She got up and they tried to wrestle a little bit, but she was hopping around. She was clearly favoring her leg. And this, seemingly, to my eyes at least, and remember, my eyes are corrected by glasses, so they're not very good. Yeah. But to my eyes, it looked like they called an audible there. The referee was delivering instructions back and forth. Natalya kind of tagged out rather abruptly, like Doudrop just let her go over the ring. Doudrop tagged out to get to the intended finish, which was Tamina pinning Eva Marie. So it very much looked like they cut that match short. Now, there's been no word on Natalya's condition, if she's actually injured, how long she might be away for, but you hope for the best in situations like this. She was helped to the back. She couldn't get up on her own. Tamina and a member of the crew there kind of carrying her pretty much up the ramp afterwards. So it didn't look good on television, but sometimes, you know, you can get a positive diagnosis after things like this. So obviously, hope Natalya is okay. But things like this do happen in pro wrestling. It's a sad fact of the job. And we just hope that she isn't off TV for too long, do we, Ben Roy?
Yeah, you got to look at the sort of, I guess, the bright side. At least she was able to get to the back with help. I mean, at least she wasn't like totally incapacitated in some like horrible way. So all we can do is like pray that it's just like a little niggle or something, and then she'll be back like in a few weeks or so, and it's nothing too serious. But at the same time, you've got like wonder what this whole the whole Lily thing is just always baffling. Maybe it just takes everyone off guard because it's just so crap. But I just hope at the same time Natalya's fine. But then I think like, is Lily the worst thing to happen in wrestling? And do I just want to see Lily versus Moppy at WrestleMania at this point?
The dream match nobody's talking about. Yeah. Why hasn't anyone thought of that before? Yeah, I mean, when this whole Lily deal started, I kind of thought that WWE were probably going to put the tag team titles on Lily and Alexa Bliss, and we may still be heading in that direction. But yeah, all the best to Natalya. Hope it's just a little knock and nothing worse than that.
Yes, and from imaginary dolls to things that actually happened in real life. As we say, back in the old days, kids, during the war, like during the 90s, when a lot of people probably weren't alive that are watching this on YouTube now, Vince McMahon fought the United States of America in a great battle. And thanks to the power of money, capitalism, and lawyers, he won. And yeah, so now Blumhouse are going to be doing a television dramatized show based on this, which is weird because I've always associated Blumhouse with simply straight up horror. So maybe this is like showing the real life horror of how so weird, like, you know, legal systems can be. And are these lawyers going to turn into blood sucking vampires at some point? I'm not sure, but this was announced, I think, earlier in the week officially by WWE, and the press release was put out. But yeah, I'm interested to see this, and also at the same time, I'm interested to see how the WWE version of this gets out, because we've all heard over the years things dripping out, and it's all been sort of like, obviously it's a serious legal case, so things have been tied up. So I'm really keen to see how this one comes out, even if it's going to have that WWE tint on it. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, like, the United States of America versus Vince McMahon, a dramatization of one of the most controversial periods in WWE history. I'm dead excited for this because it's going to be complete bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, WWE is the company that, on their documentaries, they tell a load of rubbish and rewrite history to suit their narrative. You got Vince McMahon on the Ruthless Aggression documentary saying, I decided to change to WWE. It wasn't anything to do with no goddamn pandas. It was me, pal. It's going to be complete nonsense. They're going to lie about everything. It's dramatization, it's scripted, it's everything else. And I cannot wait to see what kind of wacky nonsense they come up with. I'm sure it'll be a hoot, if nothing else. As long as no one takes it for real history, I think we'll be okay. I wonder,
right? It'll be like maybe at the last minute, Hillbilly Jim comes into the courthouse or something, and Vince like, "Hey, pal, it was him." And then that's why we never saw Hillbilly Jim. And the only reason I ever knew he existed is because he appeared on Here Comes the Pain at one point.
There you go, Lex Luger comes in and puts the judge in a torture rack. That's how the court case ended. It's definitely what happened. And then they all ate chicken with Hillbilly Jim. What happened after last night's episode of Raw went off the air? I'm going to tell you, friends. John Cena wasn't on the show, curiously, despite this being the summer of Cena. But he did appear in a dark match after Raw. It was John Cena and Matt Riddle. They were friends last week after the in-ring segment, and they teamed up to face that super successful tag team of Mace and T-Bar, who lost in something like 3 minutes to Mansoor and Mustafa Ali on Raw. But they were in the ring. Cena and Riddle, they were doing a bro-off. They were just saying bro in weird voices for a bit. Thank you very much to Anthony Perkins, who sent me a video of that. It's very amusing indeed. Check the article on the website if you want to check that out. But they had a match, 10 minutes. Babyfaces won because, of course, they did. Sent the fans home happy. It went about 10 minutes long, according to PW Insider, and it finished with Cena coming in, hot tag, doing all his signature spots. I don't know if he did the lightning fist, but if he didn't, you're not giving the people what they want, John. Finished off Mace with the attitude adjustment. So yeah, he send the fans home happy. Get John Cena out. Weird to me that he wasn't on TV. It's John Cena, he's a star. But here we are. And another one in the loss column for Mace and T-Bar.
I would have put him on TV. Maybe Cena didn't make it to the show because it's the summer of Cena. And last time we had the summer of anyone, it was big old Kevin Nash like giving someone a text. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Hamlet spoke to Kevin, like, "Oi mate, go and slap him a text and we'll sort it out." But like, T-Bar, what's T-Bar doing? Why does he even exist at this point? Why have we not just changed his name back? Funny thing about the roster page is I didn't realise there's also a T-Bone. So why doesn't T-Bar and T-Bone team up and become the big T's? And then
the big T's?
I don't know, maybe get a deal with Tetley going, and then they'll be sorted. But I just don't care about these little. I don't even know what to say, which is an offence of anyone who was in the. I'm going to call them the Rebellion. What are they called? The Retribution.
Retribution, yeah.
Yeah, just turn the lights on and off and let's move to the next story, to someone more interesting, because they all need to just, be repackaged. I'm sorry, anyone that's stuck in that gimmick. Keith Lee was missing for 5 months. Where was Keith Lee? Why was he sleeping? Was he, I don't know, was he taking up arts and crafts? Was he, I don't know, maybe fishing with Braun Strowman, because Braun Strowman loves to fish, if you see it, follow him on Instagram. But no, he tweeted after I think this was after the show, after he got destroyed by Karrion Kross. Now Vince has realised that Karrion Kross needs to win, not lose to not a bad superstar, but a very, I don't know. That's also just stupid, that whole thing last week. But Keith Lee tweeted, "I've decided I'm going to tell you guys the story myself. Give me a week or two." So I don't know, all that, this cryptid message, are we meant to be excited? Does Vince know about this, or is he too focused on fighting America once more? Do you think this will lead to anything, Andy, or do you think like something's rumbling in the background?
I think something's rumbling in the background because he was gone for 5-6 months. An undisclosed medical reason was reported towards the start of that, and obviously that's his business. Yeah. And no one pries on that and stuff. And if he wants to talk about it, fair play. Maybe it's something completely different. Who knows? But Keith had kind of teased stuff like this while he was out, and he said, "Hey, I'm trying to think of the best way to talk to you guys and everything else." I'm interested to hear what he has to say. I'm glad he's back on TV and that everything is seemingly okay, because that was a really confusing period. But in the comments section, let us know your best reasons for Keith Lee's Don't go into medical stuff, that'd be weird. But like, what was he doing? Arts and crafts, fishing like Ben Roy suggested? Has he just developed a really expensive Warhammer 40,000 hobby? Is he trying to finally beat Ornstein and Smo in Dark Souls? Let us know in the comments section below, and if I remember, I'll shout out the best ones on the news tomorrow. Shall we do some Twitter questions?
Yeah, let's delve into the cesspit, which is Twitter, I guess.
The abyss. Thank you to everyone who sent through some questions this morning. Loads of them to pick through, but I've grabbed 3 of them here as always. First one comes to us from James Wilson, hopefully not the former Aberdeen striker James Wilson, he was rubbish, who asks the following. Sorry, James. Do you think that if Punk comes back, he should have Cult of Personality, or This Fire Burns, or something new to mark a new era in his career? What do you think, Ben Roy? Tony Khan's not shy of splashing the cash.
Cult of Personality, hands down. You could just imagine it, and then there he goes. I mean, like, this is still my goddamn ringtone. So this is how much I believe it should be that song. What about you, Andy?
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I think Cult of Personality is the most recognisable and iconic for me in WWE at least. But I'm going to give a little shout outs to AFI, Miseria, Cantaria, however you pronounce that. The song he used in Ring of Honor, I loved that back in the day, but a lot of people won't know what that is. You got to go for Cult of Personality, right? I mean,
also dive in and ask you a question on this. Should Daniel Bryan use Flight of the Valkyries, or should he use something new as well? Like, because you also just use the old version of Flight of the Valkyries, because that's just real music.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 400 years old. Anyone can use that.
Yeah.
For me, Bryan Danielson, I want to see Tony Khan open his wallet and get the final countdown for a one-off, because I know the rights for that song are ridiculously complicated. But the Ring of Honor nerd in me would be very happy with that. Otherwise, just do Flight of the Valkyries. Just do the OG version. We don't need the drums and the WWE stuff and all of those things. But I'm looking forward to both songs. Yeah, regardless.
I'm looking forward to just both of them appearing so I can wet myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do more than wet myself, let me tell you, brother. The next question comes to us from the H stands for, no bias in selecting this question, honestly, who asks, simple one, who takes the belts, the AEW tag team titles, from the Young Bucks? There doesn't seem to be a clear path. I think, my friend, that Santana and Ortiz are going to beat FTR on this week's episode of Dynamite, en route to finally taking the belts from the Bucks in New York City. What do you think, Ben Roy?
I would love that, but I'm also bemiffed because didn't they cut down their promo thing by it was Santana talking about his family, and all of a sudden it cut to Dax going grrr, and then it was done. I was like, what? And so that
was weird,
and I'm sort of shocked. Like, at this point, you could be anyone. Maybe Penta says he's going to have them, and then all of a sudden we finally give the Young Bucks. We finally get the Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros again. I don't know. I would like that though. I like your booking idea a lot, because Proud and Powerful deserve the belts at this point. There are so many tag teams on this show that need the belts at this point. Like, not need them, but I need them to have them.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you got so many tag teams, you can't get to everyone. Yeah. So it's crazy that you have like Proud and Powerful have been there since day one, and they're still waiting. So but they'll get to them. Yeah, exactly. Boom, bring in those trios titles for Rampage when that comes. Maybe that'll be Tony Khan's announcement this week. Who knows? Final question comes from Michael Purnell, who asks the following. Good morning, everyone. Do you think that Drew should move to SmackDown and feud with Roman Reigns after SummerSlam? Real simple one. For me, that's a definite yes. Drew's done everything on Raw. This Jinder Mahal feud is not good, friends. And he does need to get away from that brand and onto something new. I think that's a good idea.
I mean, I think there's big things for him and Jinder coming, because recently WWE have posted, if you look on their YouTube channel, a playlist of all the Punjab prison matches ever. So I can't wait for that to lead into Drew versus anyone in the Punjab prison match. Sometimes you just bring the Big Show back like they randomly threw the Big Show in the one versus the Undertaker. Let's go. But why not give? But at the same time, it's weird because you don't have Drew beat Roman Reigns. I don't think at this point. I think Roman Reigns is an echelon above. You need someone else for that, and it's just basically feeding into the beast. But at the same time, why not? I guess anything's better than facing Jinder in a feud about a motorcycle where no one cares about the motorcycle.
Do you reckon the end of that Punjabi prison match, if they do it, will be the Great Khali returning like he did at that random time, ginger-faced Randy Orton and stealing Drew's sword or something?
Wearing Burberry like he's been doing, hinting to be one of the Trials of Jericho as well. So he's going to be like, you're going to see him on Raw and he's going to turn up and done. Oh my God, it's the Great Khali! And it's going to be one of the greatest surprises in wrestling history, I think.
I think it's going to be better than Punk and Bryan combined. Anyway, thank you for joining us on today's Wrestling News. The and finally is, I forgot to find one, in all honesty, so there isn't one. But we've had a good time, and we'll see you very soon. You can follow us on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. You can follow Ben Roy on Twitter at
Ben Roy Turner.
Simple. You can follow me at Andy H. Murray. Today the H stands for Happy Birthday Hangman Page. That guy's 4 years younger than me, and look at the differences in our lives. Where did it go? Where did it go wrong for me? I don't know. Anyway, not enough whiskey, exactly. Bye. See you later. Have fun. Don't be weird.
I'm gonna go to bed.